1v1 Survival Frontier blue side. Tex, also known as Texanius, plays a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive commander. Fights melee by default, has a bunch of spells but is quite energy intensive. Dark Riku red side as a Force commander, offensive melee, quite versatile, can also buff his troops. 3 VPs up for grabs, northeast to southwest they run, none of them natural in this huge line of points. Triple Heretics opening for Tex. We'll probably follow that up with Havocs or Noise Marines, or perhaps both. Loyalist Tactical Marines on the field for Dark Riku, heavy ranged infantry, quite tough and versatile. Double Scouts also, popular build for Space Marines in 1v1, gives you mobility and map control. These guys are going to clash with Heretics though, which you don't want to do this early on. Getting some bolter shots off, trying to get a model loss. But the Heretics flee. Here's a second scout squad, light ranged infantry, pretty decent utility with grenades and infiltration. Also shotguns and snipers. Well played scouts can be vital. These Heretics hugely outnumbered now. Here come the tactical marines and double scouts, and they're going to start losing models. 495, 500. Force commander took the middle. If you're wondering why he has a cape and helmet, this is recolored Imperial Fists DLC. Heretics are still hanging around here. Dark Riku not happy with their kiting around behind this huge rock, but he does get a model loss, yes. Chainsaw to the back of the neck, takes one out. So you have double Heretics and the Chaos Sorcerer. Havoc squad indeed is on the way, and here we see double Tzeentch worship, so all this stuff will be infiltrated. Might see a scout sergeant immediately, yes, to counteract that. Will allow the scouts to detect all that infiltrated stuff. Not sure what Tex is going to do then. Might chuck a grenade straight in there as well. Havoc squad hit the field. Here is the sergeant. Chaos Sorcerer comes in to scare them off. Doom bolts on those tactical marines, nicely done. Took half of their hit points. Wow. Can be a devastating ability if you get it right. That's a starting ability for the Chaos Sorcerer. Scouts, will we see a grenade as these guys run in? No, that could have been nasty if he got a grenade off there. Chaos Sorcerer still chasing his tactical marines. They might be close to losing a model, especially with retreat hits. Looks like they'll get away. Scouts take the building. Heretics have no garrison counter at this point. They could get grenade launchers to do that. Havocs hit the field setup team that's suppressed with the heavy bolter by default. Can change that in tier 2 with marks. Okay, Sorcerer got a bit of the base turrets to his face and backs off. Not sure what the Force commander's doing. There we go. Starts whacking on Heretics who back off into this heavy bolter Havoc. You see it suppressing from right at the edge of its arc. Really good at suppressing Havocs. Most likely going to see Assault Marines now from Dark Riku. Almost has the requisition to get them. Scouts decapping northeast, and here we see Assault Marines on the way to counter these Havocs. Aspiring Champion Heretics though are bad news for Assault Marines in tier 1. Does not have an Aspiring Champion. We have 2 gens for Dark Riku and triple gens for Tex. .479, 473, very close early on. Tactical Marines back out with full hit points, being tied up by the Chaos Sorcerer. There's his special attack, which does 360 knockback. Scouts forcing melee with their ninja kicks on these Havocs. Here come double Heretics though, and there's a very nice grenade, well dodged by Tex. Really high level play there. Havocs now flee. Double Heretics flying into melee combat. No Doom Blast though. Can he perhaps get a model loss on these tactical marines? Switch target? No. Here is the Force commander now. Heretics and the Chaos Sorcerer weighing into him. Here are the Assault Marines, jump troops that fight melee, disrupt when they land. Perfect counter for setup teams in tier 1. Very tough as well. Force Commander in a bit of trouble now, in retreat, does a special attack and should just get away, I think. Yes. Maybe not. We have Vestments of the Warp and the Sword of Flame. Chaos Sorcerer really chasing with that bolt pistol, getting shots off. Force Commander though gets away, has Artificer armor making him even tougher. Teleports into the Tactical Marines. Can he get a model loss? He does get a model loss. Wow, excellent Chaos Sorcerer play. Scouts shotgunning him to the back of the head as he flees. Assault Marines prowling the top. Map control pretty even. Nobody deeming the middle victory point important enough to take. Triple gens now for Dark Riku as Tex heads into tier 2, already a quarter of the way there. Dark Riku meanwhile needs about 30 seconds more power. Heretics backing off the bottom, do not want to tackle with all this stuff. Dark Riku blobbing up his army quite a lot here. Heretics, no aspiring champion, no upgrades for these heretics yet. We do see grenade launchers on one of the squads, Havoc setting up. Heretics waiting around him, waiting for those assault marines to jump, I think. Node goes down. Tactical marines capping the bottom VP. See the damage those grenade launchers do to those scouts. You might see a quick blood crusher in tier 2 for Tex. I'd go straight for a dreadnought now. Perhaps bloodletters. Havocs get away just. Ouch. Doomblast grenades going in, hit their own Force Commander. Huge melee fight, and those double heretics holding tough and strong. Chaos Sorcerer chasing scouts, takes them out in retreat. Ouch. I think the heretics helped out there. Dark Riku losing the scout squad, that was tough break. Really good Chaos Sorcerer play in tier 1 by Tex. Now chasing these Tactical Marines, really using him to pressure units whenever he can. Scouts getting shots off, and the Chaos Sorcerer is in a bit of trouble, gets a special attack, and that will allow him to flee if he wants to. Really wants a model loss on his Tactical Marines, and might get one here. Another special attack, and takes out a model. And might take out another. And does! Takes out 2 Tactical Marine models. This Chaos Sorcerer is on a tear. Level 2 now. Havoc suppressed the Force Commander, and Chaos Sorcerer is still running around chopping the crap out of stuff with his Sword of Flame. Will he get away though? Teleports out. Heretics with their grenade launchers capping the northeast. Tex now well into tier 2, no units on the way. And I think he is saving up for a Chaos Dreadnought. Might be waiting just to see what Dark Riku gets, if he gets a Librarian or Razorback. Blood Crusher is cancelled and goes for a Chaos Dreadnought. There's the Doom Blast on the Force Commander. Havocs are shooting up some barrels when I turn around, guys. Tex has done really well with his triple heretics, just using them to harass and then pull out, really frustrating Dark Riku's stuff here. 317, 473, and the Force Commander is pissed off and runs away. Librarian on the way for Dark Riku, wants to get a very nasty smite on his double melee heretics, I think. Tactical Marines really don't want to get in a scrap with that Chaos Sorcerer again. He's taken out 3 of them. Havoc's catching these scouts and they have to flee, doesn't want to lose another model. These grenade launch heretics take the building here. This building is very low on health, one of the oddities of this map. And the Chaos Dreadnought hits the field. Walker unit for Chaos starts off with an autocannon. Good damage versus all targets and a small AoE. Can be upgraded with marks. We'll see what he goes for. Might see Mark of Corn. Here is the Librarian Smite. Hits those heretics pretty flush, but they get away. Chaos Sorcerer teleports out, and now Dark Riku has seen the Dreadnought autocannon getting nasty shots off on those Assault Marines and then backs off. Havoc's now backing off too. Doing pretty decent damage to that Librarian. Support Sub-Commander for Space Marine starts off with Smite, but has a couple of support abilities too. Havocs have been support here, and there is Chains of Torment from Robes of Torment. Wow, changing his armor in tier 2. Force Commander gets into melee with the Havocs, knocked back though by the Chaos Sorcerer. Heretics retreat. These Heretics need to retreat. Tex has forgotten about them, and they just get away, I think. You see the Librarians inspiring nearby troops with each kill. And the Force Commander, can he finish him off with auto cannon and Chaos Sorcerer? And does. 317, 463. Now has to rebuy his Force Commander. Chaos Dreadnought just being used for fire support so far. Gonna go and bully stuff at the bottom of the map. I think these scouts, they might be able to decap though. Chaos Sorcerer caps mid, 317, 475. It's gonna be a triple, I think. No, the scouts will decap. Dreadnought turned around. Bloodletters now on the way for Tex. Heretics finally get an aspiring champion. Reward for surviving this long. Smite scares off those heretics. Bloodletters hit the field. Demon infantry that can teleport, good damage versus all targets. Benefit greatly from worship since they are demons. Force Commander back on his feet has the power fist. This dreadnought needs to watch the hell out. He's really going to need support now. Melter Bomb and Flesh Over Steel will be able to really hurt that guy. Assault Marines just flee from that Chains of Torment. Now a single for Dark Riku. Plasma Devastator on the way. Scouts tried to grenade these Bloodletters, I think, but they do manage to decap and perhaps cap the southwest. Librarian chased in retreat again by the Chaos Sorcerer and takes him out, switched back to the Vestments of the Warp. Really good Chaos Sorcerer play. He's taking out tons of units just chasing and harassing him. Tactical Marines in this building get shot up by that autocannon and they get the hell out of there. This building also low on health. Heretics, very well timed grenade barrage. Here comes the Force Commander again, and those Assault Space Marines missile launcher on this Tactical Marine, so this Dreadnought is really going to need to watch out. Those Tactical Marines need to be tied up immediately. Chaos Sorcerer retreats though. We see double Zinch Worship and Markov Khorne. Chaos Dreadnought now has 2 close combat claws, and there is the Blood Rage ability. Stunned though by Flesh Over Steel, and there is the Melter Bomb too. Blood Rage means you lose control of the Dreadnought, but it does increased damage, increased durability and increased speed. Aspiring Champion Heretics getting torn to shreds by a Plasma Cannon. That Dreadnought gets a nice sync kill on an Assault Marine, and Heretics run the hell away. Just about get out of there. Force Commander in a fight with the Chaos Dreadnought, who's very exposed now. Missiles going in. Bloodletters teleport, going after that Plasma Devastator. There's Blood Rage again. Force Commander goes down. They go after the Assault Marines. I think this is a dead Dreadnought. Might see mass teleport to get it out of there, or whatever that ability is called for the Chaos Sorcerer at one of his globals. And there we see it, getting the Dreadnought out, but he's still in Blood Rage and he's attacking stuff. Goes after the Chaos Sorcerer, who teleports away. Chaos Sorcerer has really good synergy with the Markov Khorne Dreadnought because of that, and gets him back into base and will be able to repair the hell out of it with triple Heretics. Dark Riku now recapping though, 305, 310. Is going to get a 2-to-1, might even get a triple. Assault Marines coming to the southwest, down to 2 models. Nope, they're not coming down to the southwest. Chaos Sorcerer again disrupting stuff. Dreadnought being repaired. Where are the Bloodletters? They are also back at base. Chaos Sorcerer's all on his own. Havoc setting up now. Another Librarian on the field for Dark Riku. don't think there's much else he can get into. Razorback would be very vulnerable to those bloodletters. Havocs. Are they retreating? They are. Not sure what he was doing there. That was Sigil of the Rift. I think he was trying to set him up right in the face of those assault marines and take them out with the very close suppression damage. Didn't quite work out, and it took a while to retreat there. Plasma cannons are set up. You see the huge range they have. Artillery unit that sets up. Very nice smite on those heretics. Ouch, there's doom bolts. Haven't seen him use it that often because of the crazy amount of energy constantly teleporting around takes. Dreadnought now in a bit of trouble. Blood rages after these assault marines getting missiles to the face. I think he has the red to teleport out again though. 221, 310. Tactical marines just get away. Wow, chased by double heretics. And if this dreadnought decides to attack them in base, they are going to go down very quickly. This is a drop pod from Dark Riku and reinforces all of this stuff. Excellently done. Bloodletters, what are they up to? They're retreating, and so they should. Dreadnought uses Blood Rage again. Turns around against the Force Commander. Can the Force Commander take it out? There's a Melter Bomb. Is he going to teleport it out? No, the Dreadnought goes down. Ouch. Did cause a lot of havoc though. Tex might wait for tier 3. Dark Riku does go tier 3, 194308. Dark Riku's lost quite a lot of models, but it's persevered and is now ahead, going into tier 3, ahead on VPs in a way. His bloodletters are still very dangerous, but his triple heretics are not offering much offensively right now. Easily dealt with by a smite and perhaps a grenade scaring them off. Needs to take out this librarian again, I think, Tex. Send some bloodletters after him and then chase with the teleport. Plasma cannon devastators setting up again, are they? Bloodletters teleport. They might get a plasma cannon shot to the eyeballs. Nope. They're going to sneak around the back. Kill Sorcerer poking at the scouts. Can he get a model loss with the damage over time? No. Dark Riku now hitting tier 3. Doesn't quite have the zeal for Terminators. Plasma Devs now in a bit of trouble. Chaos Sorcerer after them. Force Binders in retreat. Didn't like the look of those bloodletters. Well, now capping top 170, 299. Also have Havoc set up here. Gonna need the Assault Marines up there to deal with them. Heretics hitting generators. Not doing the best job and need to run away. Did take them down a bit though. Great Unclean One on the way for Tex. Bloodletter's finished the cap. It's a double now. What is Dark Riku gonna do? He must be saving for Terminators. Needs 90 more zeal though, I think it is. Plasma Cannon knocks. No, does not knock the Chaos Sorcerer off the cap. And Heretics cap the mid. Excellent play by those Heretics. Tactical Marines now come and decap. Ouch, Bloodletters took a flush shot from that Plasma Devastator. Chaos Sorcerer now goes after them, takes out a model. And they're going for the building, I think. Dark Flames on it. That might finish them off. There goes one model remaining, and that's a dead squad. Excellent play by Tex. And there they go. Uses Chains of Torment on this stuff, gets a special attack. This Chaos Sorcerer is running right in this game. And then retreats finally. Havoc's forcing off the Force Commander. Ouch. Power Fizz took tons of health of the Chaos Sorcerer as he ran away. Level 4 this guy now. Level 4 Force Commander, great Unclean One, hits the field. Super unit for Chaos, hugely tough, good in melee combat and lots of nasty abilities, but you do need to support him. Intestine's hanging out. He does not shower very often, so you don't really want to get into melee with him. Chaos Predator on the field for Dark Riku might be a decent counter for this big fella. Can keep its distance and get pop shots off. Needs to back away though. Great Unclean One gets a hit to the front. It's going to get Melter Bombed, I think. There is the Melter Bomb. Now the Power Fist going in. There is Cloud of Flies, and the Great Unclean One needs support. Where is it? Assault Marine taken out. Power Fist now going up against it. 1v1. This Force Commander going in. And he's not going to win that fight at level 4, certainly. And is now in retreat. Look at the damage he took with that swing. Havoc setting up against these tactical marines down at They Shall Knows No Fear is used. Sergeant gives them that ability, but there is Foul Snare really pulling him off. 88, 270, a 2-to-1 for Dark Riku. Can he see this out? Great Unclean One, not the most mobile unit. Looks like he's going to sit in the middle. Tex is going to try and hold middle and top, I think. 84, 270 tactical marines run from the Bloodletters. Did these guys level? No, very close to level 2 though. Now some Plague Marines on the field for Tex. Very tough and ubiquitous with missiles. Missiles have very poor accuracy against infantry though, as you saw there. Dark Riku now has the zeal for Terminators but does not have the wreck and power, deciding to go for this Predator instead. Foul Snare on the Librarian. Can he finish him off? Don't know if Dark Riku's noticed. There's the smite and then retreats and gets away. Plague Marines exploding on death. They are very much in trouble here. Need some support. Chaos Sorcerer comes in. Great Unclean One chasing that Predator. Look at him go. Ah, he's got out of breath. Assault Marines, can they finish off these Plague Marines? No, they jumped out. Took too many losses, down to 2 models. Predator's still getting chased by the Great Unclean One, who's waddling after it. Come on, big fella. Come on, you can do it. One more hit. Hooray! He's knackered now. Foul Snare again. This is really good Great Unclean One play by Tex, using abilities as soon as they are off cooldown. Now backs off. Needs some Heretic Worship to heal him back up. Sacred Standard on the Force Commander. Really nice accessory. Buffing all nearby infantry's damaged constantly. Bloodletters face out. They lost the model very quickly, that's why. And it's a 2-to-1 for Tex. Can he pull this off? Waddling after the Force Commander now, who's got a bit of a fight on his hands. Bloodletters, Chaos Sorcerer and the Great Unclean One. Bloodletters run. Heretics, no worship yet. Suppose he still has almost 3,000 hit points. Chaos Predator on the way for Tex and a Predator on the way for Dark Riku. Double cap for Tex, 84, 181. Dark Flames on these scouts, trying to scare them off the cap, and it does not work. Dark Riku just refacing them there. Here comes the Great Unclean One, no. No. Should have carried on waddling to the top, big fella. Gonna go for these Assault Marines as they retreat. Can he get a model loss? Bang. One more hit. Oh, I did a special attack and misses. Chaos Predator on the field, no mark for it yet. Chaos Sorcerer using that teleportation really well in this game. And this is a dead scout squad. Are they? No, gets away, unbelievable. 7 hit points, 4 hit points. And here we see Assault Terminators for Dark Riku. This could be a game changer. Super heavy infantry, fight melee with Thunderhammers and Storm Shields by default. Incredibly tough, cannot retreat and inspire nearby troops of each kill. And they're going right off of this Predator here. Predator needs help. Here comes some Plague Marines trying to tie him up. Just get in their way a bit. Assault Terminator's being very brave here. Are they just going to run into base? No, they turn and engage the Plague Marines. Here comes the Great Unclean One though, who needs some worship support. I'm not seeing any at all. Meanwhile, middle being taken by the Force Commander. Assault Terminators now in full melee with the Great Unclean One, trying to take him out. Here are Bloodletters though. Still no worship support from these heretics who are just flinging grenades in. Assault Terminators losing models. One goes down. I think that's another that went down. Yes, down to a single model. Is he going to teleport them out? Gate of Infinity gets them away by the Psychic Hood. And they trundle back to base to reinforce. And it's very expensive to reinforce those guys. Still no worship for this Great Unclean One. I think he's going to go back to base and heal up. 81, 45, a 2-1 for Dark Riku. Assault Marines jumping in. Get a Melter Bomb on the Chaos Predator. Bloodletters turn and go after the Force Commander who's trying to take out this Predator, and will do very quickly. There's a rear armor hit. One more of those and this thing's gone. Tech's just a little late to move it, and there it goes. Tex has the resource to get something else. Maybe another Chaos Dreadnought I think would be pretty nice. Give it Mark of Pawn, let it stomp around. Merciless Strike, these Bloodletters in big trouble. Can he get them out of there? And does. Assault Marines also get out. Great Unclean One has healed up a bit and is going to the centre. 52, 45. Another Chaos Predator on the way for Tex. Wants a bit more mobility than a Dreadnought would give you. Chasing these Assault Marines does not get a model loss though. Very lucky Assault Marines. 4 models across 365 hit points. Tactical Marines. Missiles are not the best idea versus infantry. Should have shot up the Great Unclean One as it came in. Assault Terminators are not reinforced, but they are capping bottom, just standing around as heretics chop them up. Great Unclean One, Cloud of Flyers, has really done well in this game. Chaos Predator trying to shoot up this Librarian. Is he going to get away? And I think he will. Has also done well after losing that first Librarian, and it's a cap at the top. 26, 45. Heretics chopping up Terminators, and they took out a model. This is one Assault Terminator versus about 5 Heretics, and takes out another one. And here are Sacrificial Circle. Bloodletter is going to come out, try and finish off this guy. Teleports away. Terminators cannot retreat of course, but then turns and engages. Terminator down to 170, and Psychic Hood again gets it away. Chaos Sorcerer was taken out by the Force Commander here. Level 6 this guy now. Chaos Sorcerer is also level 6. Great Unclean One now heading top. It's a 2-1 for Tex. 26, 25. Can the Force Commander tank this damage and finish the cap? I don't think he can. That was the load of vomit from the Great Unclean One. And the Force Commander flees. Heretics will now try and cap the top. Plague Marine sitting on the middle. Here comes the Great Unclean One again. Has really done really great. And these Tactical Marines are in huge amounts of trouble. Cloud of Flies again. And they flee. Can he take out a model in retreat? No. Dark Riku needs something else on the field. Tex hugely outnumbering him. Does not have the wreck though. Now has a full squad of Assault Terminators. Should get their lightning claws I think. They rip the Great Unclean One apart then with his super heavy infantry armor. 17-23, 2-1 for Tex. Assault Terminators though capping mid. It's going to be a 2-1 for Dark Riku now. And he might take this just by the toughness of these Assault Terminators who lose a model. There's vomit all over them as well, and they are now chained, and his Assault Terminators need help. Chaos Sorcerer now going into melee. Here's the Librarian. Ready to teleport them out, is he? Down to one model. Chaos Sorcerer now trying to cap 10, 18, going right down to the wire. Librarian getting hits off on the Plague Marine. Going to finish it, I think, yes. Assault Terminators get away. Veil of Time getting them out of there with 270 hit points. And there is the game. No, Riku stopped. Tex finishes the cap on the middle for a 1-to-1, 2-18. I thought Riku had it then, but I think he's going to cap bottom for a 2-to-1, and then the game will be over quickly. Might even get a triple. No, Chaos Sorcerer is taking top. What is this? Drop pod, I think, but it not needed. A single wins it for Riku. So close. Seemed like Tex had the better of most of the engagements, but Riku just holds on with his assault terminators at the end. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.